Welcome to Euro Travels by Design, where I do all the research so you don't have to. Today we are talking about Croatia. Choosing a destination is only the first step in planning your dream European vacation. After you've chosen where to go, all the hours of research, planning, and booking begins. This can be frustrating and overwhelming. I will cover all the exact itineraries, logistics, expert tips and tricks so that you aren't burnt out before you even depart. This video is going to be an overall itinerary for the country, and then in future videos I will break down each leg of this itinerary and give you very specific details about everything you need to see and do, as well as logistics for each spot. Each section of this itinerary could be a trip on its own. This itinerary just gives you an overall taste of the country, letting you see as much as you can in a short amount of time. I want to start by talking a little bit about why Croatia should be at the top of your travel list. I get the question all the time, what is my favorite country in Europe? And it's really impossible to decide. I love them all. My husband says his favorite place is wherever we are, but Croatia definitely tops the list. Although it is certainly becoming more popular, it is still lesser known than some of the big heavy hitters in Europe like France, Spain, Germany, and Italy, of course. I think this is going to change as more people come to know Croatia and see all that it has to offer. It has 1,000 miles of rugged, beautiful coastline. It has hundreds of islands, absolutely stunning national parks, Roman ruins, and a fascinating history. These are only some of the reasons I love this country so much. So a little history. Croatia lies on the Adriatic Sea directly across from Italy. It has been inhabited since prehistoric times. The Greeks had settlements here, but by the late 1st century, Romans controlled the area, followed by the Byzantines. Croats from southern Poland and western Ukraine began migrating to the area in the late 6th century. Since the 1100s, parts of Croatia have been under the rule of Hungary, Austria, the Ottoman Empire, and Italy. Croatia, of course, was part of Yugoslavia until the brutal War of Independence in the 1990s. All of these influences have mixed together to make a beautiful and interesting culture. This itinerary assumes you have about 10 to 12 days. This is a really common length of time for a vacation, about 1 work week and 2 weekends. Again, this is a very overall broad itinerary, and I will go into much more detail of each leg of this itinerary in future videos. Croatia is a long and skinny country, and it kind of widens out at the top. This makes it a little bit awkward to make a loop of the country if you want to fly in and out of the same airport. You can handle this in a few different ways. You can break up this itinerary and do just the north in one trip and then the south in another trip. Another way to handle this is to fly into one airport and out of another airport. This is what I'm going to suggest in this itinerary just so you get to see more of the country. So I would fly into the north, either into Zagreb or into Ljubljana, Slovenia, and then out of an airport in the south, either Split or Dubrovnik. Of course, you can go the other way around, but for this itinerary, I'm going to start in the north and end in the south. So let's get into the itinerary. So this is assuming you're flying into Zagreb. You'll need 2 nights here to kind of get your bearings, get over jet lag, and see the sights. Spend some time in Ban Lucic Square and see St. Mark's Church, which is the one with the iconic tiled roof, and go to the top of this tower. You know me, I can't say anything, so I'm just gonna put things on the screen. You'll also want to see Dolak Market and maybe a museum or two, such as the Museum of Broken Relationships. If you fly into Ljubljana, you'll also want to take 2 nights there to get over your jet lag and see the sights. The Old Town is extremely charming with quaint bridges crossing the Ljubljana River and the beautiful Ljubljana Cathedral. There are cute riverside cafes lining the river as well, and you can climb up to Ljubljana Castle for panoramic views of the surrounding area. Next on the itinerary is heading to the Istrian Peninsula, and this is a piece of triangular land that is in the northwest of Croatia. This area of the country has a diverse landscape with rugged coastline, rolling hills, and mountains. You want to spend at least 2 nights here. If you love Roman ruins, head to Pula to see the beautifully preserved amphitheater. Rovine is an absolute must-see and is a great place to have your home base. It is a picturesque medieval town located on a small peninsula surrounded by gorgeous blue water. It is absolutely delightful to wander and explore. The Eastern Peninsula also has many charming hill towns and beautiful panoramic views. Motovun and Groznan are two of my favorite towns to visit. While these don't have any big sights, exploring the narrow alleyways, walking the cobblestone streets, and seeing the charming old towns are a delightful way to spend a day. Plavica National Park is next on the itinerary. While I hate just spending one night in a stop, this is what I'm going to suggest here. Plavica National Park is absolutely worth going, but you can see most of it in a day. Plavica is known for its 16 cascading waterfalls, gorgeous lakes, and spectacularly crystal clear blue water. There are boardwalks and paths throughout the park, as well as a boat to take you on the lakes. This park is truly stunning, and you won't forget your trip here. Next, we head to Split. On your way down to Split, I would consider stopping in either Šibenik or Zadar along the way. The Šibenik Cathedral, St. Michael's Fortress, the Old Town, and the Promenade are all worth exploring. Zadar is famous for its sea organ, where the waves of the sea play pipes set under large marble steps. You will need 2 or 3 nights in Split, depending on how many day trips you want to take. Split is home to one of the world's best preserved Roman monuments, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The old town of Split is literally built into the 4th century palace of the Roman Emperor Diocletian. You will need a day to explore all the alleyways, churches, and squares of the palace, as well as the riverfront promenade. The second day, consider visiting an island. We love Var, but other islands like Brac or Vis are also great options. It is easy to find ferries out to the islands. Var, which is spelled H-V-A-R, but pronounced without the H, so just pronounced Var, is a wonderful day trip from Split. The old town in the harbor is lovely to walk around, and there is a 13th century Venetian hilltop fortress with gorgeous views. There are smaller towns on Var worth visiting as well, and there's lavender fields all over. It's famous for lavender, and you'll find roadside stalls and shops that sell lavender. Another option for a day trip is this, I think you say Krka, but I'm not sure. It's similar to Plavica National Park. It has 2 well-known stunning waterfalls as well as an island with a beautiful monastery. This is a really easy day trip from Split with public transportation available. If you want to compare Krka National Park and Plavica National Park, I have a blog post on my website, Eurotravels by Design, that kind of compare and contrast the two, and so you can go on there and see which one will best suit your needs. The last stop on this itinerary is the gorgeous Dubrovnik. You'll need 2 or 3 nights here as well, depending on your day trips. Dubrovnik is known as the Pearl of the Adriatic, and for good reason. It is absolutely gorgeous. Lying right on the coast, it has beautiful views of the Adriatic Sea. Walking on the walls encircling the town is an absolute must, as is wandering its old town, visiting churches and palaces. There are many options from Dubrovnik for day trips, such as Mostar, Bosnia, which is known for its arch bridge and Turkish bazaar type shopping streets. Kotor, Montenegro is located in the stunning Bay of Kotor, and there are also many islands to choose from. I will go in more detail about these in my video about Dubrovnik. I also have a blog post about Dubrovnik day trips if you're interested in that on the website as well. So when should you go? Croatia, especially Dubrovnik, can get extremely busy and hot in the summer months in July and August. Dubrovnik has over 1 million visitors a year, and most of those are coming during those months. So if you can, I would try to travel on the shoulder season. So April, May, and even the beginning of June, and then September and October as well. The average temperature in April is in the 60s, in May it's in the 70s, and then in September it's the 70s, and October is the 60s. I get that not everybody can go during these times, and sometimes you need to travel in the summer. If you do, just try and get up a little bit earlier and wander before all of the day trippers come and the tourists arrive. Also, if you're in Dubrovnik, make sure to check the cruise schedule and try to time your arrival when there aren't very many ships in port. So getting around, we always love to rent a car when we're in Europe. We just love the freedom it gives us, that we can go on our own schedule and that we can reach all of the little off the beaten path places. Croatia is an easy place to rent a car. The highways are well maintained and it was easy to drive around. Some of the back roads were a bit skinny, but it was no problem. Of course, when we're in the big cities, a big busy city, or if we're in the old towns, we just park our car and wander around and we don't drive in those areas. From Ljubljana to Rovinj is about 2 hours. If you're starting from Zagreb to Rovinj is about 3. And then from Rovinj to Plivica is about 3 hours. Then Plivica to Split is 2.5. And then from Split to Dubrovnik is about 2.5 as well. Of course, I understand that not everybody wants to rent a car, and there are plenty of options for you as well. Although Croatia does have a railway system, it's not as extensive as in other countries in Europe. Some places like Dubrovnik, for example, don't even have a train station. For this, your options are buses. There is an extensive bus system in Croatia, and you can buy your tickets online beforehand or at bus stations, and sometimes you can even buy them on the bus from the driver. Even with buses though, there are some places that might be harder to reach with public transportation. For this, you can hire a private driver or you can go on a guided, organized tour. So the language, Croatian is the official language, and it's a Slavic language. It's closely related to Serbian and Slovenian, but you will have no problem if you don't know Croatian. All of the people at the hotels, the shopkeepers, the waiters, and most of the places in the tourist areas will know enough English to help you, and you'll have no trouble at all. So the currency, Croatia just switched to the euro in 2023, and the euro is usually about €1 for 106 to 110 US dollars. So the euro is worth a little bit more. It's always a good idea to have some cash for those places like small shops and out-of-the-way restaurants that won't take a card, but most places will take credit cards, so that makes it easy. Foods to try. So the influence of all the different regions in Croatia, as well as their foreign rulers throughout the years, can be seen in the food in Croatia. There's a lot of Italian influence with an assortment of pasta dishes available. Its location on the sea also influences local dishes. Seafood is everywhere in every variety. Try the brodetto, which is a fisherman's stew. It is a seafood stew with tomato base. The black risotto made with cuttlefish or squid is also very popular. And then truffles, which are hunted in Istria, are found almost on every menu. They have a very distinct flavor. They're not my favorite, but you need to try them when you're in Croatia. Who knows, you may love them. Frutilli are more my style. They are a fried ball of dough that usually have powdered sugar on them. Sometimes they have fillings such as lemon zest or raisins, and they're absolutely delicious. When you're traveling around, ask a local where their favorite konobis is. These are taverns that usually prepare authentic dishes, and they are a great way to find delicious dinner. Is it safe? I was a teenager when the brutal War of Independence was going on in Croatia in the 1990s. Because of this, all of my knowledge of the country was destruction and despair and tragedy. Even before the war started, Croatia was part of Yugoslavia, which was behind the Iron Curtain, and this made it seem isolated, dull, and dark. The Croatia you see today is none of those things. It is vibrant, clean, and safe. Of course, you always need to be aware of your surroundings and watch your belongings, especially when you're in a tourist area that's really busy, but not more so here than in any other European country that I visited. We felt safe walking around at any time of day. Please consider liking and subscribing. If you would like us to design a custom itinerary just for you, contact us at our website at eurotravelsbydesign.com.